I'd like to go back to Chasen. Chasen, you've got, you know, a group of people who've been recognized by Realtor Magazine, and I know I'm putting you on the spot, but maybe a week or two ago, you and I talked about your application and just questions that you have. I'd love to give you the floor here and just ask open questions that anybody might want to answer about, you know, their experience about being a 30 under 30 honoree, and then also just maybe tips that they have for filling out your application as you work on submitting that. I'm excited for you.
Thank you. Well, I guess for giving me this floor. Yeah. So my two big questions that I kind of ask everyone, and I think I asked you, Kyle, as well, is, for one, as far as like the application goes, you know, like how confident were you with that, or like how stressed out about it were you? How many times did you apply? All of those questions. And then once you did get recognized, how has it helped your business, helped your brand? And you know, really, I mean, are you happy that you even went through the whole process and everything?
And I'll just open the floor to anybody that wants to answer. Just on the left-hand side of your screen, hit the unmute button and go ahead and answer.
I can go first. I'll be quick. In terms of confidence, I've been kind of a cocky asshole for years. So I thought I was going to win each time I applied, and was like shocked when I didn't. I applied first in 2011, then 12 and 13. No, 2011, 12, didn't get it. Finalist in 14. No, wait, sorry. 11, 12, 13, sad, beat up 14, finalist in 15, made it in 16. So, you know, first you don't succeed, try.
Yeah.
Now, and for me, I think what's important with your application is understanding the narrative and the story. Realize that it is for Realtor Magazine, so that when the thing that put me over the top last year was a combination of significant production, which, you know, there was a dude last year, or 2 years ago, who was like the broker out of New York that had like $1 billion in sales or something. So, I mean, you can't get too caught up on exactly what your production number is, but I think units and significance is a part of it. And then think about what your story is and craft that story. Brandon Green and Bowman Keaty, who are past winners and broker owners of our franchise in DC, I worked with them specifically. I'm like, hey guys, this is a goal, you know, help me craft my story. And they did. And I think it, you know, was kind of balancing both association involvement and sales, and what kind of my goals were in terms of community involvement, wanting to help, and, you know, being more than just a salesperson was big. And then in talking with Rob Reuter, who's one of the, you know, selecting committee members or in charge of everything at Realtor Magazine and at YPN, he did say that my video that I did last year helped with telling my story and help kind of separate from the pack. Because, I mean, you'll see a bunch of applications where people are like, oh, I love real estate, I love selling, I'm so excited. And that feels, you know, kind of cheesy, right? Because you've heard that. But I think if you can focus on, you know, a unique value proposition and your story. And I was just looking you up on Facebook. I like your social media presence is impressive and cool. And I'd want to be friends with you and, you know, buy and sell from you. So I think if you expound upon that, you know, you're in good shape. But
Thank you,
Kyle, to let you in and talk to us too.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
I think Harrison just asked if will you be friends with him?
Of course.
That was an official friend proposal.
Right.
I'm gonna poke you first.
Please poke me, and I'll definitely poke back.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably say, to piggyback on standing out, the first thing is don't wait until the last day to submit it, because I waited. I'd been fine-tuning it, like I'd written it out, I had a Word thing, and then that morning I went in and my computer reset itself and I lost everything that I did. And it was like a pure morning of panic trying to, so don't wait until the day of to fine-tune it, submit it, get it in a little bit sooner. It'll save some years on your life. But yeah, I think that out of, you know, there's hundreds of applicants, whatever you can do to stand out. I know that for me, I always thought that my association involvement helped separate myself a little bit. I know that my age helped separate myself because I would have been disqualified the following year from doing it, because I'm 31 now. And I know just being, so I think for me, being a commercial guy, separated myself because that's what stood out among a lot of other people. It wasn't about volume, it's just about the things that you do. So I know that my year, Hold on, someone just came in our office, and I'm not sure who's here. Oh. We're back. I know that my year, there was some really compelling stories of people that that just have really cool stories. I know the girl that won the popular vote online, she went from being homeless and had this whole story of how selling homes really connected to her personally. So I think if you can tell a compelling story, that's one of the main things, more than volume, more than anything else, that stands out as to why you're in this business and why you have a passion for it. And then just building on it. So, yeah, stand out and be friends with her.
We lost Judy for a moment, and now she's back. Judy, the question is for Chase, and Chasen asked the group because he's a 30 under 30 hopeful, and that kind of sounds funny to us who we're all hopefuls, but I think it's a great opportunity to be able to mastermind with people who've been there before. And so Chasen's question was, what advice would you give to me as I'm filling out my application? And also, has it been an impact in your business since you were by Realtor Magazine?
Hi, Jason.
Hi.
Oh, it's so exciting that you're applying.
I know.
So, I was kind of a special case because I was thinking to myself one night, in the middle of my house that I was rehabbing, there was like sheetrock dust all over the place. And I was sitting at my desk in the middle of this empty room, and I was thinking, I think it's the last time that I have to apply for 30 under 30. I should look it up. And I looked it up, and I literally had less than 24 hours to apply. So I got letters of recommendation from my broker and one of my customers who is like my best advocate. She's a huge cheerleader of mine. She's given me like 8 referrals this year. And she wrote a beautiful letter of recommendation. I got my sales real quick, and I just answered my questions as honest as I could and kind of off the cuff. I feel like that's how I've always done my business. I really need to be better at goal planning and stuff like that. But I just work, I just work hard and get there. And I just tell people the truth, and I don't really sugarcoat that much. It tends to really come across to the judges and whoever was looking at it was like, this is pretty raw material. And I think it really helped. It depends on what your story is. Just make it compelling, like they said, and it should work. But yeah, it's definitely helped my business a lot. I actually put it in all my presentations. I put it on my personal Facebook page, my business page, and it really helped me launch into this year. We nearly doubled our sales volume. I did bring on another agent onto the team, but it was really cool, and it helps with your age too, because that's something I fight with a lot. Is there's a lot of experienced agents in my market that have 20, 25 years of service in the industry and a great track record. And the way that I can set myself apart from them is to say, hey, I'm really good at technology, and I have a lot of time. I don't have kids. I'm really dedicated to this business. I eat, sleep, and breathe real estate. And also, hey, I got into 30 under 30. It's a national award. So it's really cool. My company is taking advantage of me. But I was really nice. I was nice enough to give back, but I didn't have to, but it's a really nice, it's a good feeling to have, and it does help you with your business. So if you can get it, I'm sure you will. It really does help a lot, because you can, and also make sure you get some PR out of it too. I was in the Business Review, the Times Union, anything local. They used my headshot, and Realtor USA sent out a press release, and I sent one out to a couple of people that I know, because I used to be in PR, and I got a bunch of articles online and in the paper, and that was tremendous. So don't let it, no matter how busy you are, you got to dedicate yourself to trying to get in the paper, because you will. If you're in Dallas, Texas, I don't know how many people in your area have gotten 30 under 30, but I was the first female, and before me there was one male that got in. So that was a huge feature for me to be able to get into the paper, was first female realtor makes it into 30 under 30 nationally. And I printed out the newspaper article, and I bring it with me everywhere. I bring 30 under 30 Realtor Magazine. I have multiple copies over here that I print. So, it's awesome. So I hope you get it. Do you have any questions about like how you should answer your questions on the application?
Yeah, so what I've gotten is definitely answer as honestly as possible. You know, something that I was kind of trying to figure out, and I asked Kyle this before. You know, should my answers be more just like me, personality, or do I want to be the realtor PR? I'm in an interview. I need to say everything, you know, a certain way type of deal. But
Yeah.
from what I've gathered, it seems like it needs to be more about personality and letting my voice out.
Are you a part of YPN, the Young Professionals Network for NYSAR?
Yes.
Good. That's going to help you a lot. I was co-chair when I applied.
Okay.
So that was really cool. Now I'm the head of the chair for next year.
Nice.
So that helps a lot too, to be able to say that you want to help give back to agents that are just getting into the business. I said that too, because I do that a lot. You know, I had a great mentorship. I started full-time 5 years ago. I got right under the wing of an agent in my office, and I learned from her a lot. And then I do the same thing now for other people. Even if they're not on my team, I try to help them out as much as I can. And that's something that you could say too if you do that, or you can start doing that and you can say that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that helps a lot too.
And if I can
So
jump in
Judy,
real quick. Oops, sorry.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Harrison.
I was going
No,
to say,
you're
yeah,
good.
100% YPN involvement is, I think, very important. And it also, in terms of what's happened post 30 under 30, understanding kind of the power of the masterminds that Kyle sets up and just the national network. And really, as a part of my own personal marketing, what I want to do next year is do a video series that explains to people, because even though I'm here in DC is very transient. People come and go nationwide. I want to be able to say confidently, if you or anybody you know are looking nationwide, call me first. Using, you know, being able to leverage 30 under 30 as your, you know, piece that you've got folks nationwide now, because you do.
You can even show them the map that they have online.
100%, yeah. But definitely get involved in YPN. And another kind of cool side benefit is I've gotten a lot of phone calls, emails, just people reaching out, specifically from a lot of young men of color that have said, hey man, I read the magazine. I didn't see many people, you know, like you in it or historically in there. Can we talk? And some of those conversations I had, and one dude got his license and called me when he had his first transaction. Like this, like he got his license in June and called me in October and was like, hey man, yeah, thank you so much. I'm so excited. I was inspired by you. And I'm like, damn. So that's kind of shifted my mindset to look more into coaching and, you know, being able to get like some CRS stuff to travel nationwide and tell your story, right? Like if your story can inspire people to like start a career, do something big, like that's a huge deal. And that's what I think this gives you, a conduit to take that next step beyond just selling, whatever you want to do.
Right. So exciting.
So Jason, you're seeing that most of the answers that I gave you a couple of weeks ago are pretty similar to what this group gave. And I wrote all these down so I can again, but I remember when, and Harrison had brought this up, that persistence is key. If you apply 1 year and don't get recognized, or maybe you're a finalist but don't make it into the, you know, the actual 30 that make it into the magazine, for every eligible year that you have, that they want to see that persistence. That actually will, from what I've understood, will elevate your chances. And then things to consider is, everybody's talked about your story. Realtor Magazine is selling magazines. Obviously, their members receive the magazines as a member of NAR, but their whole goal is to create awareness to their magazines. So it's got to be an interesting story. And I told you this on our call, but for everybody else that doesn't know this, my story was highly focused on 3 major life events that occurred in 90 days, the year that I applied and was recognized. One of which is my wife and I, our family, we had daughter, and then we had welcomed twins into our family that year in March. In May, my brother unexpectedly passed away. And then in June, I left the firm where I was, my mentor was a 30 under 30, and that was a difficult decision, but it was because of an opportunity that was created. And so those things, it's life in transition, and what are young people doing? And if you think about the fact that we are younger, and Rogers constantly says, make sure to say that we are recognized by Realtor Magazine as 30 under 30, that you're youthful, not young, because you know, what ends up happening is you want to try to demonstrate that you have the experience that someone who's 50 does. It's just that you've compacted it into a pretty short your career. A lot of people join as realtor members when they're in their 40s or 50s. And so just consider that you just decided that you were going to pick a craft to stay with, and your experience level may be that much more than someone who's only been in the business for a couple of years but is 20 or 30 years older than you. Your location matters. They can't pick everybody from Texas. They can't pick everybody from California. So in Texas, there's going to be more applicants. And so don't be discouraged, but just realize that they can't pick everybody. Highlighting mentors is huge. If Rogers hasn't done this, you need to ask him to write your letter of recommendation. And if he's too busy to do it, because I know what Rogers is like, he's short, brief, and to the point, and that's because he's a busy guy, write it for him, have him edit it, and then submit it in there, just so that, you know, you'll be able to communicate what he would want to communicate. Your age matters. The closer you get to 20, the more they scrutinize and look at your application. And it's not to say that they are not going to pick you if you're 22, but they also know that a 22-year-old has multiple chances. Answer honestly. That was something that came up several times. Answer every single question. I think the year that I applied, there were 50. If you don't answer a question, they think that the magazine editors think that you're sloppy or that you're not, you're rushing through it. So make sure you answer every single question. Even if it's like with the ethics violation question that they ask, even if you just say no. And I'm proud to report that I've never been, never had an ethics violation. And just, even if it's a short answer, it's better than no answer. Differentiate. That goes into your story, but how are you different than other realtors out there? What are you doing differently? What's your approach? They want to see kind of cutting edge ways at the industry that's obviously been in people's, you know, realtor members have been around for over 100 years now. So what's different about you versus everybody else that's out there? Your company type, the fact that you're a boutique versus or a Remax or one of the larger franchises will help you, because they can't pick only Keller Williams agents. They can't pick only Remax or Coldwell Banker. And so that's helpful. And then any type of business that you do outside of kind of the which is single family detached homes. Like Derek and I were both commercial realtors, so that was helpful for our application. But any type of business that you've done, I think Rogers had commented about the fact that he went and kind of talked to and people who were living in apartments to go and get their first home. And that was a real creative way of creating business where, you know, business may not have existed. And YPN, we already talked about that. That's a huge point. You may really highlight that involvement. And Judy touched on this. This is my last comment. PR, and Judy had a background in it. I did not. I'm remiss that I did not hire a PR company. I have a PR person now that actually helped DeVito, who was the prior 30 under 30 honoree from Colorado, and she connected me with the PR person. And I really wish that I had a PR company that was not only my own outreach, but, you know, they were doing it a little bit more officially on my behalf. And so that I've learned. It's not a regret, because I didn't necessarily know that until after the fact. And then I would say, and this has been brought up, leverage whatever you can if you receive a recognition like this. Interact, mastermind, talk to different people. I would have never had the opportunity to meet Harrison in person if we weren't both a part of this recognition. And I've had a chance to meet him in Washington, D.C. I just feel like that's such a special opportunity that you just would never have otherwise. And so don't have it be, you know, that you're recognized and then all of a sudden you leave it and say, okay, that's in the past. Really try to network with this special. There's only about 600 of us because they've only done this issue of the magazine since the year 2000, and there's 30 people recognized every year. So do the math. You've got about 550 people that get recognized over the lifetime of this issue. So hopefully that helps. And I want to be cognizant of everybody's time. We've got about 10 minutes left. Love to open the floor just on our original topic, which is core values and how core values lead into your goal setting.